It's time for Gardening Inside Out, a live show offering you plant advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Hey, and welcome in, everybody. It's Saturday morning. It's time for Gardening Inside Out, coming to you alive here from Bates Nursery and Garden Center and the palatial Green Room Studios here at Bates Nursery. Palatial. It's amazing inside here. It's nice and cool in here, but it is most definitely thick outside, David.
Yes, although it's not officially summer yet, Josh. You can't tell that by walking around. It's quite muggy. We'll get into all that right now and give the weather a look. And, of course, today is Saturday, the 15th of June. The month's already half gone. I'm not sure how that happened so quickly, but dang if it doesn't. 95 degrees and mostly sunny today. Tomorrow, more of the same temperature-wise. Maybe some late afternoon thunderstorms. Not going to be, doesn't look to be a significant amount. Those things that are just random and scattered in nature. So there's that. On Monday, a bit cooler, mostly cloudy, 92 degrees. And we got cloudy conditions and a bit cooler temperature still. It's cooler is a relative term. It's still 90, 91 with really high humidity. So it's not going to, cool is not going to be one of the words that enters your mind as you're walking around outdoors. It's just going to be summer feeling, because summer is coming officially by the weekend. Next weekend, 94 on Thursday, 95 on Friday. We've got some mixture of clouds and sun throughout. And we'll give a quick look at the radar here, kind of look at the eastern U.S. You know, it's all clear here. There's nothing to see in the middle Tennessee area, in the mid-South, anywhere in the South for that matter. You go up into the Midwest, and you'll see that there are some storms that are happening. You know, Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and Kansas. There's a bit of activity going on there. All in all, it's not a day that is extremely active. We'll check out the weather here at our Bates Nursery weather station, 78.6 degrees. Currently, we've gotten 0.02 of an inch of rain this week, which gets us up to 173 for the month. We're just a shade under 29 inches for the year, 28.95. And as you can see, the temperature now is 81 degrees, 77% relative humidity. That is sticky. So
did it quit raining in Florida? Holy smokes.
How many inches of rain did they get, and how many days in a row that South Florida, I mean,
I think the last total I saw was about 30 in 36 hours. That's flat.
It's horrifying to think about, but it's a reality of the way weather is anymore. It tends to be a bit extreme. So what we hope to do, Josh,
is
to help people navigate and negotiate these extremes and continue to have success in their gardening efforts. And today, of course, is the Father's Day edition. That's right. It's Father's Day weekend.
And Bonnaroo.
And what that means is that this is the last Sunday we are open until fall season at Bates Nursery. So this is kind of the send-off weekend for summer, because summer is right on the tail.
Yeah, I did it. It was me. It's Father's Day. Give me a break.
Yeah. So,
but David, we're missing someone. We're missing someone in studio.
No, we're not missing someone. We've added someone because being the Father's Day edition, we need to have a staff full of fathers, in which we had that today. Caroline Gann is out today, but capably in her
that too.
I'll take it.
Got my nose fixed, and now my mouth don't work. Austin Lowe and the general manager himself, Adam Chapman. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you both this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to be here.
Yes.
All the fathers are in the round table.
So
Yes.
I'm going to say, Austin, did you decorate the studio today?
I did. I decorated the studio all by myself today, and I brought in a little bit of Caroline because she's not here. She's on vacation. I hope she's having fun. But look,
What?
I brought in zinnias.
Yeah, baby.
I don't even like zinnias, but Caroline loves them, so we brought them in. So it's like we have a little bit of Caroline in here, but the GM, Adam Chapman, filling in.
Yeah. It's good to be here.
It is.
This is my first time sitting at the new table. So
I know. We're a little
Been
bit
a while.
tighter over here. You're a lot bigger than Caroline.
yeah, just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah.
He's almost larger than life.
Yeah.
He renamed something as in the studio as well, David. Tyler and I are. Did you mention Tyler over there, by the way?
Tyler's here.
Tyler.
I hadn't quite
Tyler
got
Cam,
to
Tyler
it, but
Cam.
yes,
Tyler Cam.
Tyler Blake shipped across the way over
Yeah.
there.
There he
you
is.
go.
Tyler Cam.
Good morning.
Tyler.
Hi,
But,
good
He's
morning,
the
everybody.
only non-dad in studio today, but he has the potential.
Yes, he does.
He's like our dad.
Well,
I'm
one thing that
definitely-
we all have in common. for
I'm the
certain
green
is that
room
we
dad.
we all have dads, so perhaps a story or two might come out today. In that regard, I certainly have a great many stories about my dad, some of which I can actually share on air.
I resemble that remark. So yeah.
So, what else you guys got? I'm sure we got some things that happening this week, things that are significant.
Mhm.
Yes.
Are there things that you want to kind of get out of the way before we get into the questions we've got on hand? Of course, we want to invite everyone who wants to interact with us. You can do so in real time
Yes.
through any of our website connections. Tyler, what's the email address? That one always escapes me for whatever reason.
I'll put it up on screen.
Okay, that'll be very helpful. There you go.
It's gardening inside out at gmail.com,
Gmail.
though, I think, isn't it?
Yep.
That is it. That is correct. And of course, you can also message us through YouTube, through Facebook, and Instagram through the Gardening Inside Out pages there. And Josh is
What?
going to be monitoring those closely today. So,
Well, we've
he
got.
and Tyler.
I have 3 screens going this morning when I usually have 2 because Caroline is usually monitoring at least 2 of the feeds that we've got going. But you can still get to us, folks. We're going to get to your questions. Just
Yeah.
and we'll see
As
what-
I have found, it's not that hard to get to Josh, really.
say what? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Just say-
saying. And, for
You're
me
awful
too,
close.
I mean,
I don't-
Josh and I are both sensitive kind of guys, so we have to be careful not to,
Get to each
oh,
other.
overstimulate the other one. It's, it can get nasty.
Well, I mean, I was reminded that, with Caroline and Austin going over their Clematis versus the Crossvine
Fine.
argument.
Saga.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It reminded me so much of our arguments that we used to have about macaroni going in chili. Do you remember these?
Oh, well,
it was
yeah.
our
Oh, yeah.
it was the John and Paul moment where Yoko might have come in because it was ugly there for several weeks in a row. So
I don't
Gardening
know,
gardening feuds can get just as
Oh, man.
spicy,
yes,
Uh-huh.
so
especially amongst
Well,
this cast.
I wasn't here, so I didn't see the clip, but I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and say that Crossvine's better than Clematis.
Of
So
course.
Of
Adam, you're such the
I'm
mind
just
of
saying.
reason.
I mean, if you want something that's tough and is going to bloom forever in the summer and evergreen, I mean, come on, what are you talking about?
I know, you're right, but the beauty, you're Caroline right now. The beauty of Clematis,
No.
it just exceeds Crossvine so
Hey,
much.
Look, I'm not
So
saying,
much.
I'm not saying Clematis is a terrible plant. I'm just saying that Crossvine is going to eat its lunch, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean,
my
you-
take on it is that in the world of if you give a numerical value to a Crossvine, perhaps it's only a 5, but it's a 5 all the time.
Yes.
Whereas a Clematis can be a 10, but it
For
can
about
also
3
be
weeks.
a 1.
Yes.
So,
David, you're right.
a matter
you're
of
right.
extremes.
But a 5 all the
it is.
time is not for me.
that's mid,
well,
man.
I don't want a
Okay.
5 all the time. Okay? I want a 10 sometimes.
I mean, we can see,
Okay.
Austin, by your character. You're a 1 or a 10.
you're right.
All or nothing.
All or nothing, baby. All right. Well, You know what else has been going? I wanted to say something yesterday.
Okay.
It seemed like yesterday, Adam, you back me up on this. Yesterday, we had a big day. Everybody, the whole staff at Bates Nursery, we flipped a switch. So we're starting to get prepped for our big paving project, okay?
Yes.
We're resurfacing the whole lot.
Wow.
Y'all, you don't even realize how many plants we have until you have to move
Every
single
single
plant.
but half of them.
Even half of them
Yeah.
seems crazy. So we had so many people. Adam was on a delivery yesterday. You moved 650 bags.
Yeah.
By yourself on a delivery. Our GM is out unloading bags of landscape, which is great. Thanks, Oasis, by the way. Shout out to you for buying all those bags and from us. And Landscape's such a great product for containers, for a lot of different things. But Adam's out there unloading bags. I'm here on the lot with Owen and Josh, and we're out moving boxwoods all day long and conifers. We got Ryan moving all the fruit to a different section. Bridget moving all her perennials. So much is happening. Y'all, we did some work yesterday, and it turned hot.
Yes, it did.
I was beat last night. I know everybody was.
At
We were
2:30
beat.
yesterday afternoon, it was like they turned it on broil. But folks, you really, if you drive down Whites Creek Pike and you know the back way in, there are probably 150 stands that have been moved also to a staging area. This is a monumental undertaking for you guys.
It's huge.
It is, and that's been part of we've been planning this, since the paving project for the parking lot happened last year. We all kind of knew what was coming next, and while the parking endeavor has been extremely well received, what it has done inadvertently, but we acknowledge that I knew it was going to happen, is that it's called attention to just how bad old pavement really is, and the 49-year-old pavement of the existing sales lot and all of the other surfaces connected. That includes the perennials and the greenhouse area. I mean, we've gotten our service out of them. So when you come out and you see, hey, what's going on, guys? You've got all this bare area, and it looks like you're halfway out of business.
Well, no, David. That kudos to your staff, because not only are they having to move it, they're also having to put it into a place that can be displayed in a retail environment.
Yes.
And they've done a great job. I mean, it looks great in here.
And we're utilizing facilities, and now I have mentioned this in the newsletters over the last couple of weeks, but we're putting plants for our display sales in areas where we would not normally put them, simply because we don't have any place else to put them. We've got to be able to clear off fully half of our sales lot and the entire greenhouse perennial section simultaneously. So it's going to be, we're concreting inside the perennial and greenhouse area. We're paving elsewhere, and these things are going to be going on at the same time. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all develops. It will be worth it. We have to keep telling ourselves that, because it's
not going to kill you. It's going to make you stronger. Okay.
Well,
you should see these faces over here. I mean,
we keep telling ourselves that.
Yeah.
But we did get through last year, and my point is that I don't have another last year in me. The parking lot, I was heavily personally invested in, physically, emotionally, mentally, perhaps spiritually. I'm not sure, but let it suffice to say, I don't have that kind of effort to be able to give in totality anymore. So, but this is going to be a lot more group effort. It's already proven to be that. And we appreciate everyone's patience as we work through it. It will be transformational. I promise you. It's going to be so nice to not have bumpy carts and
bumpy
irregular pavements and potholes. And, we have, do you have any idea, Adam, as to how many times you have patched spots in these areas?
I mean, I'll put it this
number
way.
7 on your job description.
I think so. It's up there. At least 2 sections, whole sections, almost, I had to patch a couple of years ago. B2 and B3 were so bad that I took the whole thing up and patched it.
Yeah.
And other than that, several dozen places I've patched. It's been.
I mean, they're just everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yes.
can almost point to the ground anywhere you're standing, and we have patched it at one
Yes.
point in time or another.
Yes.
So, anyway, come out and enjoy our patchwork pavement
While it lasts.
because it's going to be going away. We're going to be adding a layer above it, which is part of the should make it a little easier once we get all of our prep done.
Yep.
Is that we're not excavating; we're just simply laying over the top of what's there,
the
and we've
frosting
got to move
on
all the
top.
plants.
Yes.
We've got to
Okay.
clean all the areas.
Yeah.
Then it'll be surfaced over the top, restriped. Then we'll move plants from the front section to the section that we're now have or is now emptying, and then we'll do it all over again. So
But before all
Go.
that, we should probably answer some questions.
Don't you think that's a good idea?
Absolutely.
Because they're everywhere as well.
Oh, yeah.
From an email, when is the ideal time to give my established burning bushes a good cut and shape? Can I do it now or wait for cooler temperatures?
Anytime.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, right now,
Kill
if it's big and it's overgrown, you can do it now.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to hurt a burning bush,
No.
especially an established one. You could literally cut it to the dirt and it's coming right back.
Yeah,
So,
but you could also put out the fire if you wait too long, right?
well, you can minimize your red in the fall. That's why we love burning bush. It goes beautiful red in the fall. It really does. But if it's too big and it's overgrowing the space, then it's certainly fine.
You just got to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, you would let it go brilliant red this fall, and then after it does that, drops its leaves, then you give it that hard cut back or whatever.
You cut
That's
it.
that's ideal.
You can you cannot kill one.
No.
So,
No. You can't kill a burning bush.
No, they're very, very tough.
Euonymus.
Yep.
Coloratus?
No.
Elatus.
Elatus, yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Which means winged. The winged euonymus.
Winged euonymus.
Yeah. Look at the stems. They have wings. They
So
can
if you
fly.
have those, do you have to join the support group, David? You know which one I'm
that's
talking
the,
about?
the Euonymus Anonymous group.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
people have a real problem with Euonymus, that I've heard it can be effective, but it's one way to go.
It's first,
But
you got to
can
admit the
trim them.
problem, though, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Most people just trim them.
Well,
there are a
right.
few. There's always a few.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, part of the problem is the fact that we have some euonymus in studio today for some reason.
I did that. You know what, Adam? It
Some
was just
Manhattans
close.
in here.
It was hot yesterday. Like Josh said, about 2:30, I started to do this,
All right, I get it.
and I was done. I was beat.
Yeah, if it was out of necessity, I get it. But if you pick these
on
on
purpose.
Gonna
It's
have
just a
worry
massive
for you.
green.
I know.
It's just a massive green.
That's true.
They're pretty.
And
don't get me-
probably
they're
back in
glossy.
the day,
Yeah.
a cultivar that preceded
Pauli.
Manhattan.
Pauli.
No, before Pauli was one called Peyton's.
Wow.
Patens. And
Omaha.
It was what I would call a semi-broadleaf.
Oh, okay.
And it was extremely winter hardy. You could not kill it. And that's part of the problem. but it would also drop its leaves most winters. So it was very effective, but it was the one that was available. I mean, I'm reaching way back. This is late 50s, early 60s. So it's been long out of production. I don't know. I doubt there's anyone growing it intentionally anywhere, but I'm sure it's unintentionally being grown somewhere.
Yes.
I never even
There's
heard
a
of it.
deal on that.
Me either.
Very good. Now, Gary wants to know, and greets us. Good morning, Gary. Thank
Hello,
you.
Gary.
My tomato plants have been looking great this year, but yesterday afternoon I was looking at them, and a few small branches on 2 or 3 of them looked like someone had sprayed Roundup on them.
No.
Just totally limp. I cut them off and got rid of them. I am sure no one sprayed Roundup to them. What could cause this? Thanks very much.
There's issues on lower leaves of tomatoes almost every single year. So, I mean, Roundup damage on tomatoes looks very weird. Like, that's the word. Funky, weird, gnarly growth. And it's not just on the bottom leaves. So what
the
you
whole
did,
thing.
Gary, was great by cutting off those leaves. Like, if it is fungal, if it's bacterial, whatever, you, minimize that by cutting off the funky leaves. Like, that's a good start. Keep an eye on it. I know if you didn't spray Roundup, then then I mean it's fine. It's probably just natural. If your plants look good, at least if 10% of your plant looks rough, then live with the 90% and cut off the 10. Like that's what we want to do first, and you've already done that. So good work there. Keep an eye on it. Just keep an eye on it. It could. So Roundup damage presents the same way as a virus within tomatoes. So keep an eye on it. If
watch
it
the
is,
neighbors, keep them out of your yard,
and watch the topmost part of the growth. That's where we really are watching for disease on tomatoes, especially viral issues. If you're seeing damage from the topmost part of the plant, then that's when we need to worry and think about it a little bit more. But
yeah, usually the stuff on the bottom, like I've got yellow leaves and spots and stuff on the very bottom branches and leaves, but
just shedding off.
Yeah.
But you know what a really good thing to have to try to prevent all of these problems is? I know what it is.
I guess.
I would say that it would be EarthMix garden products, David.
Yeah, and gardening people who are gardening enthusiasts, and you know who you are optimists by nature. And so you learn to look at your plants and maybe there's a few little things that are not quite perfect, but there are overwhelmingly good indications that the plant's growing well otherwise. And that's what the goal for EarthMix Garden Products is to give you the growing conditions that gives your plant the very best opportunity to have a vibrant and healthy growth and is naturally resistant to a great many pests. Now, nature just takes its toll on things. But EarthMix helps you to have the very best results that you can get without having to do an undue amount of spraying, hopefully none at all. Doesn't matter which product you're using. They're all 100% organic. They're all blended right here in Nashville, Tennessee. And that guy right there, Adam Chapman, and I have worked closely together to develop this line of products, and we continue to work at it. We've got a lot of refinements coming along as we continue down the process of improving the product line. First and foremost is Supernatural, which is the kind of is the basis of many other products. It is its own product, and it also is an input of other products such as Garden and Proganics O and others down the line. So top-notch compost, 100% organic, and it's done differently than most compost processes in that we do it by a recipe. It doesn't deviate from one batch to the other as far as what the inputs are and how much of them are in there. So whenever you get it, you're getting the same product each time. And therefore, the products that come downstream from that are also the same every time. And it doesn't matter, like I said, which product that you choose, Josh. It can be EarthMix Supernatural. It could be Enlighten. Maybe you've got drainage issues. That one is an expanded shale product that is available. We've got Viragra, which is it's in the blue bag, Josh. I know you're partial to.
Yes.
That has the
earthworm castings.
Yes.
Yes, it's going to give you at least 4 weeks, not days, Josh, weeks of extra vibrant growth because of the natural composition of earthworm castings. It is a very fertile product, as are the entire line of EarthMix Garden Products. Caroline's not here today, but we'll talk about Proganics for just a short moment because it gives you all the great things for indoor plants and without any of the bad stuff that peat gives you, which of course is fungus gnats. And while they're not damaging, they are majorly irritating. So you don't want that in the house.
Nope.
Product, you're going to have success. And the best of all, they are available all over an ever increasing area. We're everywhere from Idaho to North Carolina now.
Wow.
So our goal is to fill in as many of these places as possible. We've got a great representation all over Tennessee, Kentucky, Northern Alabama, and more coming soon. So just keep a check right here. You can find the location nearest you by putting in your address and getting turn-by-turn directions, or simply just click on a tab and it'll give you, you can zoom into directions for that specific location near you. Remember this, success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use EarthMix garden products. And we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes to talk about it and help take the work out of your gardening efforts. Gardening should not be excessively laborious. And, you should be able to dig a hole, prepare the soil, and keep it watered and have success. And that's the way we do it at EarthMix.
It's all you need: EarthMix, water, sunshine, and plants. That's it. And if your favorite independent garden center doesn't have it, the dealer inquiries tab up there at earthmix.net is available for them to make an inquiry to join us. Do we have time for some more questions, or do you?
We have a What's in Bloom with Austin.
Oh boy!
Hey guys and gals, it's a perennial kind of blooming season.
Oh, boy.
It sure is. There's a million of them out there. You know what I'm going to start with? I'm going to start with daylily. It's been a daylily year. They are still blooming like crazy. They are fantastic. Hey, my alliums, the ornamental onions, y'all, they're just popping off. Looking good. About 75% bloom right now, and they'll be going for a while. Balloon flower, talked about that last week. That's always cute. The blue, you don't see blue very often, and that's pretty true blue. Hey, milkweed for all you monarch lovers, they're still popping off and have been for a while. Penstemon. Hey, what you know about penstemon?
I know that I love it.
I know. And it's great for the pollinators, and it's in bloom. It's got dark leaves. They're beautiful. Hey, agastache or agastache, however you want to say it. A bee magnet. Just an absolute bee magnet. Speaking of bees, bee balm. Bee balm. Still blooming. Still giving you powdery mildew. Yuck. Okay.
Not mine.
Well,
Not
you're
mine either.
lucky. You're lucky, Tyler. Okay.
Claire Grace, baby. Claire Grace.
The Oriental lilies, not the Asiatics. The Orientals, the ones that get taller. They're up like this tall. They tend to want to flop on you a little bit. Hey, they're looking good right now. They're not flopping that bad. We haven't had rain in a couple days, so they're up looking good. Shasta Daisy still going, but kind of on their way out. Verbena bonariensis still blooming. Y'all, that plant blooms forever. It never stops. Echinacea, y'all, Echinacea still going. Still going, looking good. Okay, here it is. Black-eyed Susans.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't stand them.
Love them.
Personally, can't stand them. But you know what? They're looking great. They're taking over.
My
All right.
maximas are 7 feet tall.
7 feet.
That's right.
Tyler. Mm-hmm. Cut those back.
No, that's those flowers at the very top.
All right, not my favorite at all, but hey,
Madman.
Nandina's blooming. The old shrub Nandina. You know what? Old school backbone. It's blooming right now. All of your hydrangeas, every one of them, all the way from oak leaf to Annabelle. And Annabelle's have been great this year, like I just talked about. We haven't had much rain since they've been in full bloom, so they are not flopping.
Yeah.
It has not been a floppy year.
Now, what they are doing is, if they're in too much sun, they're wilting.
They're wilting. They are doing that. Good point, Adam. Yes. So water your hydrangeas, especially if they're new. Y'all, if you buy hydrangeas from us, you water them. You're not going to overwater them.
The name of the plant means water.
Yes.
Plant.
Yes.
You have to, okay? And it's hydrangea season. I know y'all want to buy them, and we got plenty of them for you to buy, but you better water them or they're going to tank quickly. Okay, let's move on. Roses still going. Roses perpetually bloom for the most part. Elderberry still in bloom, starting to go to fruit. They're big, large weeds. Okay.
Fragrant.
Now, they are fragrant. Let's go to some trees. New one, Vitex. It's a shrubby tree.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
My
it is a
Vitex
tree.
is lit up.
Vitex is lit up. You're right,
and
Tyler.
Bead up.
I've
The
seen
bees
some,
love Vitex.
I've seen some golden rain trees blooming.
I was getting there, Adam.
Okay, sorry.
I got a question about that when we get
gotta
done.
When we get done,
gotta
okay.
give 'em room.
Hey, Caroline, shout out if you're watching. Your mimosa's still blooming. I know you love it. Magnolia, still in bloom. God, magnolia never quits blooming. It seems like once it starts, it keeps going. And then, yes, Adam, the golden rain trees. God, I love them. God, I love them.
Blowing up.
I just love them.
Except for the whole reseeding.
They reseed like crazy. You're right about that for sure. But gosh, they're worth a grow. I love those things. Crepe myrtle started last week. I'm going to be on that for a month or two. Sumac still going. Sumac. Whatever. They just come up everywhere. Hey, last one that's beautiful that just started this week, Rose of Sharon.
There you go.
Hibiscus syriacus looking great. And then let's get to some other ones, some bulbous stuff, some annual stuff. Hey, sunflowers just started. I love the sunflowers when they're up and blooming. Cannas. Callas, if you're lucky enough, calla lilies, if they come back for you, great, because that is a cool bloom. Super cool. Hey, shout out to the bulbs. Gladiolus just showed up. Hey, Melissa, if you're watching, I know you like gladiolus. They're looking great. Cool little
All
cut flower.
happy about the glad.
We're glad. And then Ben Tress brought in his dahlia today. Look at this. Look at this.
It's as big as your head.
It hides my face. This is Kelvin Floodlight Dahlia. It's the goat of dahlias. It's yellow. It's huge. It's fantastic. Ben said something about why fireflies love dahlias. What's up with that? I don't know, but that's cool. There's literally a firefly on it right now. And the last one.
What's on the other side?
Oh, the red ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he just popped those in.
We have that one, I think, in the house. Yeah,
super cute. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is petunias. And I'm going to say this. I usually don't use like weird colors when it comes to petunias. Okay, I'm a pink guy. I'm a white guy. Like when I'm a white guy. When it comes to petunias, I don't go like too weird. I can jump actually. It's one of my greatest qualities. I used black petunias this year, like straight black, not purple. They're black. I used them in my bed this year. Y'all, they are like shrubs.
Wow.
They are like shrubs. I should have got a picture. I didn't. I'm sorry, Tyler.
Shame.
But black petunias are worth growing, y'all. It's fantastic. So you know what? That's what's in bloom.
Yeah, the salt and pepper ones you had back there this year were awful pretty too. Oh gosh, they were pretty. Now, my question about the golden rain tree, I'm going down the road with my bride, and I said, look at those golden rain trees. She said, that's not a golden rain tree. Pretty sure that's a golden rain tree. She said, no, golden rain trees are the ones that have like the little lanterns on them. That's a very common mistake. What are those?
No, that's the aftermath. That's what Adam was talking about. Those little lanterns, they look like little habaneros, if you will, dangling from the tree or something like that. Well, they hold the seeds.
Yeah.
Typically, I believe it's just 2 seeds that sit inside of that husk.
And
there's going to be a bunch of them.
Almost every one of them germinates too.
Oh,
it seems like anyway.
I know. I
They're
feel like I've
high
talked
90
about
percentile germination at least.
Oh, easy. I did a study on it in college. I did I had to do a thing, and I gathered 1,000 seeds, and I went and I did different like stratification processes on the seeds or whatever, and with sulfuric acid.
Wow.
And like still so many. I had something like 780 seedlings of golden rain trees, and I was like, what do I do with these? But it was awesome, and they just grow.
Okay,
They're beautiful.
Very cool. Alana wants to know. She says, I planted 2 encore azaleas in early May in my front landscape. The moles have set up headquarters there. Would it be a good idea to pot them in larger containers and put them back in their spot until the moles move on and then replant? I do not want to lose the beautiful plants. Moles ain't going anywhere, girl.
No,
I don't. Yeah.
The moles are an indication not of the plants necessarily, but you have grubs or whatever in the soil that they're in earthworms they're looking for.
Crawlers.
Yeah, so
which is not always a bad thing. Like it's kind of nice to have earthworms and night crawlers and all that in your soil. It's helpful, but it is annoying. Moles are super annoying.
Yeah.
But I wonder what the plants look like. Like, are they looking bad from the moles, or are they kind of
roots.
okay?
It's the voles that get roots.
Voles eat roots.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if repotting might be more stressful than just leaving them in. I mean, azaleas are naturally slow to take.
Yeah.
So
I would be inclined to believe that would be the case if you, particularly this time of year, to be digging things up. Transplant shock is going to be much more. I mean, that's going to absolutely be detrimental. The moles possibly could be. So
yeah,
playing the odds, I would say, don't be digging them up right now. All the moles do is swim through the dirt.
Right.
They literally do that. They can swim through it. They're amazing little creatures, although disturbing from a turf standpoint because they just keep it destroyed all the time. So either embrace them or figure out a way to get rid of them. And there's no perfect way to do that. But there are a lot of imperfect ways, and all of them work somewhat.
Yep. And most of them have poison. So
or they're a trap of some type.
Yeah, they don't work.
I've found that if you just leave them alone, they usually they go
move
away.
On.
They go
eat
away.
everything and then go on.
Yeah, they move on. So
they'll eat all the available,
right,
and they do eat some grubs, but they mostly eat worms and night crawlers. And if they've eaten them out of your yard, they will move on to the neighbors. So that's what you can hope for. Is You know,
It says
go ahead and let
follow-
them eat and get out of there because they have to eat
constantly.
24 hours a day. They sleep for like little naps. They eat around the clock. I think literally it's 20 hours a day that they eat. So they have no ability to store fat. So, obviously I don't have that problem, but and I don't eat 20 hours a day. It just appears
You
that
don't
way.
have to.
No, don't have to. So,
In the follow-up, she says, any advice on getting chipmunks out of my flower beds? This is my first experience with these cute but highly annoying critters.
Get a cat.
Absolutely get a cat.
I will tell you this: the last 2 years we've had an outside cat, and I have had zero issues with squirrels, with chipmunks, with most birds. The only bird that is in my yard is you can take one guess, mockingbird.
Mockingbird.
Because
they're
don't
dive bombing the cat to get the hair off.
Yeah,
Right?
they don't care.
Yeah.
So, but that's one thing about having an outside cat. Now, the other thing about it, the trade-off is he gets in my beds and does his business, and
Absolutely don't put the rodenticides out. Don't do any of that for those because
No,
it gets
no.
into the food chain. It's very, 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 very bad.
Otherwise, you could invest in a air rifle. I mean, 177 caliber air rifle, and
Put your eye out, though.
maybe.
You
But I'm
could.
just saying it'll take a chipmunk down. Is what I'm saying.
So what nature of the chipmunk damage is there?
They chew.
dig and
The worst
chew.
thing they dig and chew. They chew on bark. They can be a nuisance if there's enough of them.
Yeah. But if it's minimal,
Yeah,
it's nature.
Just leave it.
I mean, it's kind of like
they are
squirrels.
the
It's like,
cutest.
how do you get rid of
They are
squirrels?
the-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are the cutest nuisance you'll ever have.
They are cute.
Ground squirrels with raisin stripes is what you used to call them, right?
Yeah.
And she says that thank you for all you do to encourage and help me in this fabulous, fickle, fun, frustrating world of gardening. I love your show and your beautiful garden center. I'm blessed to live so near Bates Nursery. Thank you,
Thank
Lon.
Thank you
much.
so much. Super nice.
Alrighty. Another one. New Mugo pine is browning on the needles, but next to thriving pines. What's going on? What's going wrong? No, let me read this again. New Mugo pine is browning on the needles, but next to thriving pines. What's going wrong?
I think maybe they have other mugos that are doing okay.
Okay.
Or maybe pine trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's new.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything new is always going through that kind of stressful period a little bit. I mean, it's just kind of part of it. So, once again, what percentage? Well, are we talking 10%? Are we talking 90%? Is this thing tanking? Is it shutting down? Like,
Are you loving
badly?
it? Are we watering it a whole bunch?
we have to make sure we get water down to the root zone. That's
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, the best way
And
to
are-
water
and are
is
the-
to water thoroughly, less often.
Yes,
So
but
And
deeply
are
around
the
it.
needles, are the browning needle parts on top,
Mhm.
or are they just bottom needles? If
Yeah.
they're bottom needles,
that's shedding.
Forget
That's kind of
about it,
normal
you know,
shedding. Yeah.
They're pretty
but
tough.
the top,
Yeah.
if you see that on top, then it's a problem. This is where, of course, having a photograph's handy.
Mhm.
So that might be a little pertinent information you can impart on us to help us to give you a better diagnosis. But if it's bottom needles just shedding off, that's what you would never have pine straw if pines didn't shed.
That's
where
right.
it comes.
That's right. And sometimes you can go into that pine tree if like what David's saying, some of those needles are lower or whatever, literally go into the main trunk and just shake it. And like a lot of that will just drop off and then you don't see it anymore.
Right.
So, but like David said, we kind of need to see, is it on the top? Is it on the bottom? In the middle?
Very, very good.
Yeah. We'll see.
Gary had a follow-up comment. He says he's been working in EarthMix worm castings around the tomato plants that he was having a problem with earlier.
Good for you.
Is it a good idea to keep doing this throughout the season? I believe that you are, but don't work them too hard.
Right.
Don't work them around those roots and get in there and damage those roots.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
Top dress it and just
Top
let it
dress
go.
it.
Yeah.
year,
once
yeah.
a month. Yeah.
adding organic material, y'all, is never a bad idea.
No.
Never, especially worm casting. That's like black gold. I mean, that's that
You know,
good
and
stuff.
There are cultivation practices that can actually be damaging, and I have seen people who had particularly like, and they think they're doing a great thing. If you had a bed of azaleas, for instance, and you were wanting to work around them, you never want to till in around azaleas simply because they have, and I know that's not what the question is about, but as an example of something that has very shallow roots. And if you're damaging those roots on the surface, which you're going to, even if you're only tilling an inch down, you're going to do damage to them. And that's going to, in fact, make their situation infinitely worse. You still get all the nutrition by top dressing and just allowing it to decompose and go into the soil. You know, there's no cultivation that's necessary in order to get that nutrition in there.
Very good. Laurel wants to know, what is a timeline for growth and flowering for my newly planted Magnolia Royal Star? Any pruning guidelines, care tips, full sun, and happy Father's Day, guys. Thank you.
It blooms on old wood.
Yep.
So any pruning you want to do it now. If you want to preserve and maybe hopefully get some new growth the rest of the summer to set new buds. So, I mean, you can prune in the winter if you want to do some heavy pruning, but you're going to lose a lot of blooms that way.
Yeah. So. Laurel, first off, love you. I'm glad you're listening this morning. And I saw that magnolia that you purchased. Me and Owen loaded it into your car a couple weeks ago. And that's just a young magnolia tree, and it looked happy and healthy. Don't do any pruning on that right now. I saw it. Like, it's good. It just needs to grow. And you're doing great. I've been meaning to call you. I'm so sorry. But let it be. Let that magnolia be. And for anybody else that wants a magnolia, where are you going to get it, David?
You go to get it at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And if you hear that phone ringing, just know it's not Austin calling.
Okay.
He's apologizing on air for failing to make phone calls. You know what? We're really very fortunate here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. For 92 years, Josh, we've been bringing Middle Tennessee, Nashville area, the very best quality plants. A lady you may see on screen here in a second is my grandmother, Bessie Bates, and she is the founder of it. There is no father to Bates Nursery. It is, in fact, my grandmother, and there she is. And Bessie Bates was a stranger to none. She never met a stranger in her life, I don't believe, and she really loved people. She really loved plants, and she would be particularly proud of what Ben sent in today, because dahlias was one of her passions. It was her pet things, and she sold cut dahlias and dahlia bulbs. So kudos to my grandmother. I'm really fortunate to have gotten to really get to spend a lot of quality time with her, and it's meant a lot to me as a father over the years to have gotten to spend that time with her. She was a really awesome lady. So if you come out to Bates Nursery and Garden Center, we try to take the information that she has imparted on me and that I've tried to share with others, and part of that is getting people in here like Austin and Adam and Caroline and Tyler and all the other Ben Trest and all the others that we have here. And I shouldn't have gone down that path, because just a whole bunch more besides that. And I can't name everybody. There's like 60 people working at Bates Nursery now. So, and they all contribute. And, we don't do anything else but horticulture. That's all we do. We do horticulture and the things related to helping you have the best success. Now, as we talked at the top of the show, we look like we're in a bit disarray. The reason is because we are. We're getting ready to do this major project that will greatly enhance your shopping experience. We're looking forward to completing it as we only begin the starting process of it. So we've got probably a couple of months here to endure this. We appreciate your patience, but we're not out of business. We just have moved things to locations they don't normally reside. That will account for why things are not where you would expect to see them normally. So
it's kind of fun, though.
Get around.
It's fun seeing it moved around.
Yeah.
Well, when you go to a lot of the big boxes, I'll call them, the common practice is they move things around to force you to shop. So that you will see things that you maybe don't normally see because you're looking for something else. And that's an unintended consequence of what we're going through. You may see some things that, you just didn't know we had. And perhaps that will be something that actually benefits your gardening efforts. We certainly hope so. We're here to answer your questions. We're here to help you get the very best results and get the right plant in the right place the first time. Because that's the way we roll here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. If you'll bring photographs on your smartphone or your tablet along with you, we will give a look at your unique landscape situation and help you to make the right and best decisions for your particular application. And we're going to also give you the tools to have the best success. And I'm talking about EarthMix Garden products. We're very proud to sell that product and to offer it as a vital aid to your gardening success. So, doing all that, I also do a weekly newsletter. And if you just scroll down the main page of the website, batesnursery.com, and you just go down, right below the header is the newsletter sign-up section. Care to get that? Put your name, email address, and click the box that says, I agree to receive it, and then sign up. You'll receive it almost immediately. You'll get a notification that says you have signed up. And then only once a week, until you say you don't want it anymore, it will come. And it's 350 words every week. It's concise, to the point, has hopefully some both entertainment and informational value to it. So folks, the readers of Nashville Scene have indicated such. We were voted the best local blog in Nashville last year, so very grateful for that. And we try to do all the things we do here at Bates Nursery as well as we possibly can, and that's completely due to the folks that we have here working with us. And you got guys here in the studio, and we're just pretty thankful to have all of the individuals, the fathers and all the other staff alike. We really appreciate us having the opportunity to beautify Nashville since 1932. And that is, of course, Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where we're conveniently located a mile north of Briley Parkway. That's at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike, just beside where the big UPS terminal is. And that's just minutes from anywhere around the metro area,
The whole area.
whether it's Rivergate or Donaldson or downtown or Nashville West. And as Josh can tell you, it's worth the drive no matter where you're coming from. So come see us, Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932. And thank you for giving us a couple of minutes to discuss that and to help you in your gardening efforts.
So let's get a grip on
What's in Room with Caroline?
with Adam and Austin, I guess.
And
Well,
me.
hold on,
I'll
hold
try
on.
to help.
Hey, wait a minute. I can handle this, okay?
You got it?
Adam's got it.
I think I can do this.
Uh-huh.
We have the lazy choice of the Manhattan euonymus from yesterday.
Let's go ahead and get that out of
We
the way.
have
That's up
the-
front. Yeah,
It's up front.
Adam's
That's
talking about that.
It's an evergreen that gets massive if you let it.
Yep.
We used to call it the air conditioning plant. You know,
Yes.
if you got an outside,
Yes.
it just makes a nice green wall around it. But it does make you have to trim it probably 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Count on 3.
HVAC,
Yes.
every HVAC tech in the area hates them because of that.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All right.
And then we got the zinnias, of
Zinnias,
course, which
big boys.
I've heard Austin doesn't like too much,
Oh,
but Caroline does.
these are Magellan. Yeah.
I do like them, but they do tend to get powdery mildew way too easily for my taste.
Okay.
And then
You don't have enough sunlight for them?
even if you have enough sunlight.
Yeah.
I've never had that issue.
Oh, yeah. No, you see powdery mildew a lot on zinnias.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Got
and-
grass of some sort.
yeah, is that a sedge? What is that?
Yeah. I think it's Pennsylvania.
So that's the native one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
the carrots.
Cool.
Appalachia. I may have some of that.
Oh, the
I may
Appalachian
have some of that in my yard, actually.
You might.
I love this sedge.
Yeah, it's
Love
pretty.
the feel of it. Love the performance
Yeah, I
of
think
it.
it's really cool. I
nice.
think I do have some in my yard. And then on the hot plate, we have.
We usually save that for last, Adam. Just
Okay,
letting
sorry.
you know.
Okay.
I'm just moving through the room. Man.
Okay.
Well, so behind me we have over my head. You can see the Pendula Cedrus atlantica. I have seen one of those at the Botanical Gardens in Edinburgh, Scotland. That was 25 foot wide. Maybe 30 foot wide. That thing was massive. It was the biggest one I've ever
absolutely
seen.
gorgeous.
Oh, that sounds magical.
actually dug some up that were at my house that actually just got too large. Now it took them 15 years. But,
yes.
And actually mine was a different cultivar, but they don't look like an imposing thing, and that's kind of many conifers are easy to misdiagnose as to what their ultimate size is going to be, and
Gotta be careful
get large, so just make sure you allow enough room for
Yes, or do some pruning. You can.
Yep.
These are cool.
And then we have two varieties of 9-bark. One called Little Joker, and the other one is called Lucky Devil. Yeah, Lucky
Devil.
Okay.
Lucky Devil. Hi, Joker.
The Lucky Devil one is kind of gold color.
Bitty, teeny, tiny blooms all around.
This is the clue that tells you these are quote unquote dwarf a 9-bark, because the leaves are small. I'm assuming they're probably a witch's broom from somewhere that they've just propagated forever. 9-bark.
You guys tell me. I'm just going to interrupt here for a second, Adam. Can either of you guys tell me what the origin of the name 9-bark is? I mean,
the common name, I don't know.
I've read one time 9-bark. It's supposed to be there's 9 different shades of color within the same bark. Now, is that true? Is it really 9? How'd they come up with 9?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are they sure there's not just 8?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Could be.
But
8-bark just didn't sound good. 9-bark had a nicer ring to it.
Uh-huh.
Guess so.
Yep.
Okay, so now do I go to the hot plate?
Yes.
The Lazy Susan.
No, it's renamed. It's the hot plate.
So that is a hardy begonia,
Look at that, y'all.
and underneath,
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
red veiny. Oh, green on top. Backside.
Yep.
Oh. It's like it's bleeding on the backsides of the leaves through the veins.
Well, and you can see the color, the pigmentation in the stems
Yeah.
too.
And it's just weird. It's a hardy begonia. It's a begonia that comes back every year.
Now it doesn't bloom as much as the tropical ones.
No.
As far as that kind of show, but
It doesn't need to.
doesn't need to.
No, it doesn't. And that's a good price on that over there too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a cool plant to add to your shade bed. It just kind of creeps around the garden. I got one for my mother-in-law this year, actually. So
One
There
that
you go.
I wasn't aware of.
yeah, it's a cool plant.
Very good.
Good job, Adam.
Oh, thank you.
Nailed it.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you, Annie, for viewing on YouTube from our urban homestead from Perth, Australia.
Perth.
Awesome.
All right.
Nice.
Good day, mate.
Good,
Let's say good day. Well, it's good evening.
good evening from Perth, Australia.
Yeah, I have no clue what time it is there.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I would imagine they're almost in winter down there. Correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Coming up to winter.
If it ever actually seems like winter there, I'm not convinced that it does.
Can we get EarthMix down there?
If you're way south in Australia, perhaps.
Huh? That would be interesting. You have to be a container, though. I mean, we could probably hook that up. Okay.
Yeah.
We can make it happen. We can make anything happen.
Absolutely. All right, we might need to go rapid fire here, folks.
Let's go.
When and how to trim
7
an indoor when and how to trim an indoor fiddly fig.
Oh, y'all and your fiddly figs. Once they get big, you top prune them, okay? So take them from the top and you shorten. Whenever you do this, make sure you give them plenty of light inside the home or even outside the home, as long as you get it acclimated to outside. But you just tip prune. It's really not that hard. Caroline will tell you, I've seen her literally clear cut every leaf off of a fiddly fig and shorten it. And then within a couple weeks to a month, you see new growth, and it's going to be great.
Or it dies.
Or it's not going to die.
Oh, okay.
An established one's not going to die. It just needs light, and it needs to stay on the dry side. That's the problem.
I've heard that if you haven't killed a fiddly fig, you're not a gardener.
I don't know if I've heard that.
Okay. All
right, what's next?
Impatiens in a window box filled out fast this year. Cut them back or start over.
Don't start over. I mean,
No.
cut them back. And impatiens have a way of getting bigger than what you think. I grow impatiens. What a great shade plant. Like deep shade, heavy bloomer, annual. Like really good plant and good for window boxes too. But if they're getting big, which they do,
Yes.
even from a 4-pack, they can get big. Cut them in half. They're going to releaf. They're going to rebloom.
Yep.
And as the name suggests, a lot of people get antsy about what to do with them.
They get impatient.
Yes.
Impatience, right? So
Okay.
don't worry about cutting them back, and that not only applies to impatience to most annuals. They get a little leggy on you.
Seriously.
Just cut them back.
Mm-hmm.
Let them reflush. They'll be much nicer the second time.
You're so right.
Colin wants to know what's Adam's take on Black-Eyed Susan, and he's already covered his stance on Clematis and Crossvine. So
Yeah.
Hey, Call.
Black-eyed Susans, they're good.
Are they too good?
Too good.
Uh-huh. You know what I mean? Like,
I would say that if you stick with the medium to smaller varieties, at least for me, you're good. Like Becky or those real tall like native ones. They look a little too weedy to me. Like that, they look like something I would weed eat down.
Push hog down.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
they're pretty when they're growing.
they are.
man.
They are. They certainly are.
Drift Roses, mine don't look so good, but thought they were indestructible. What do I do?
Well, I would imagine that for the majority of this spring has been really wet, really rainy. So even your really tough shrub roses are going to probably have some spots and stuff on them.
Make sure it's getting some good sunshine.
Yeah, they
too.
need full sun for sure.
Yeah. And you're so right, Adam. It's just been wet, and shrub roses stay close to the ground, and close to the ground is where fungal stuff happens. Like that's just how it does. So if you've got black
Cut
spot,
'em
you
back.
you
Fertilize 'em.
can give them a cut back, give them a fertilize, prune any black spots. But you're with everybody on this one, okay? Middle Tennessee, it's been roses have been a little bit this year.
Everything's a little bit too moist this year. So really,
I think that's about to change.
right. I think so too. What are the brown spots on my zinnia leaves?
I think C
Brown
previous
spots.
answer.
Yeah, see previous answer.
Fungal. It's fungal. It's been wet. Zinnias, Caroline.
Okay.
I love zinnias too.
I know.
Zinnias, man.
They're fine.
Flutterbys like them, man. I'm telling you, it's great. What soil mix do you recommend for raised beds in the sun with sedges, perennials, and shrubs?
Tell them, Adam.
Garden. Garden is the best one for really any raised bed. I mean,
goat.
you can certainly modify it as you need if you're doing something fairly specific. But sounds like what you've got, garden would be perfect. So
Still our best seller.
Yeah, and it has the most, the greatest ability to hold moisture.
Yep.
Because of the organic content that's in it and the amount of native soil that is also in there.
Let's see. What is best things for winter interest / evergreen?
well, yeah, we got one in the room with
Man, that's gorgeous.
cedar.
I mean, really all the
Blue Atlas.
conifers.
Yeah, any of the conifers.
Color bark Japanese maples.
Yes.
There's
Like
there's
Bihu.
Bihu,
That'd be good.
Sango,
Wait.
Kaku.
Winterberry holly.
I was about to go there for a native option. Winterberry holly. Red berries over the winter for the birds. Hey,
Poppin'.
red twig, yellow twig.
red twig dogwood.
Yep.
Even Itea in the wintertime, the stems are nice. And
But they never
also,
send you all the parts.
also-
those ideas never
That's
come.
true. You're right.
You're always leaving out a castle nut or something out of those,
Yes.
right?
Even blueberries stems are nice in the winter, and the buds and stuff.
Oh yeah.
too. So.
They
Adam
color
is a
up.
blueberry lover, and y'all need to get on the blueberry train a little bit more, even for the ornamental part of your yard.
Well, I'm telling you, I have them as foundation plantings.
And why not?
And
Like, Beautiful, beautiful
No reason
blooms,
not to.
followed by blueberries that are fantastic. Let's just be real. And then you get excellent fall color that persists for a long time, even past frost and freezes a lot of times. It can stick on. And then you got beautiful stems in the winter.
Yep.
Blueberries are
And
underused.
Then if you're lucky, you get blueberry
Blueberries.
muffins
Yeah.
that Adam makes because he's pretty awesome at it.
yeah,
And serviceberry muffins before that.
yes, before that.
So, that's some of the great attributes you can get from adding edible landscape elements to your landscape.
Yes.
Hellebores, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. First
Oh,
one to
sure,
bloom.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. And oh my, question of the day: when is the threat of squash bugs past?
No.
Trying to
Never.
plant seeds later in the season to avoid.
Never. I mean, I don't know.
You
No,
can
I
tr-
mean,
I've heard of people doing it earlier.
well, I mean, when we're in it, we're in it. Like, we're in it now, y'all. Like, squash bugs and squash borers, which is the worst thing for squash because they take a plant. I mean, literally in a day, they can just wreck it. Squash bugs aren't as bad, but they still cause a lot of damage. So, scouting, you got to look for them. You got to help out. If you don't want to spray, which I'm kind of that guy, I'm not trying to spray in my garden much. I want the good bugs and the bad bugs.
Yep.
But with squash bugs, they can be really tricky. So you're not necessarily
pretty much have to remove the plant to deal with it. Do you not? I mean, there's
squash
not
pine
really another-
borers, or the borers for sure.
The borers for sure. You got to just get rid of it. I mean, once it's happened, it's done. Yeah. Like, it takes the plant. Squash bugs, not quite as bad, but you're in it, y'all. We're in it. It's bug season. Get ready. It's happening.
This is not squash bug, but yesterday I was walking around the garden and I found a tomato hornworm.
Yeah.
First one. So.
Oh, yay.
Okay.
You left it at your house, right?
Oh, he's
gone?
The bits of him are at my house. Yes.
Yeah, baby. That's organic.
Very good.
Okay, well, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. We
Thank
really
you.
To you too, sir.
tuning in
Thank you.
today and to all those who make
Yes.
being a father such a great thing. We
Absolutely.
appreciate it to our children, to our wives, and
Yes.
to everyone who puts up with us.
Yeah, go see your daddy if you
Know who
can. I
you
sure
are.
wish I could. I tell you what. All righty, folks, that's it for Gardening Inside Out for this week. But next Saturday morning, we're going to come back and be here for another hour. Hey, thanks again for watching in Australia. Spread the word down there. We'll take care of you, mate. See you next week.
Australia.